Okay, so if you take the list that Chris presented at the end of his presentation, you took it to university and you'd say, you know, we'd like graduates with these capabilities or we'd like a program to suit that. What are the institutional hurdles that you face within a university? And so I'm going to discuss that based on 35 years of experience with interdisciplinary programs at universities. I'm Will Rifkin. I'm the director of the Hunter Research Foundation Center at the University of Newcastle. So the four elements of my talk: why bother? What's the point? What's already on offer at universities? And I'll focus on Australia because that's a context that I know. What's in the way of more such programs being developed or the current offerings being expanded on? And then what are some options? And there'll be, some questions for you. So you may face a situation where you need 3 social impact assessment specialists for a Zambian mine to start in February 2020. Or you need 5 mid-career people for state government over the next 3 years. Or you reviewed a bunch of social impact assessments, as I heard in many talks here, and they were lacking in certain areas. So the whole profession or some practitioners need to pick up their game. Or you feel that social impact assessment practitioners need a skill set that you feel many of them don't have already, such as negotiating internally so they can do the sort of study that they think is right and get permission to do that. So the opportunity for the profession is to have universities help to develop graduates who can become staff and practitioners. Increasing the quality and consistency of the people practicing in the field, as I noted the critiques at this conference, and to develop a community of practice. So there's an actually developmental pathway within a community where people can go from, as I say, legitimate peripheral participation to become more mainstream practitioners, and the whole community can upgrade its skills and its effectiveness. What's the opportunity for universities to play in this game? It's an interdisciplinary collaborative endeavor, and there's a lot of talk about the growth of interdisciplinarity at universities. It's something they talk about but don't do particularly well, but this would be an opportunity for collaboration among disciplines and between departments. It could be collaboration between universities. It could be collaboration of university people with practitioners and with government and industry, so there's an opportunity there. It's also something that's entrepreneurial. It's putting together something that hadn't been there before. And there's been discussion over the last 10 or 15 years of academics needing to be more entrepreneurial, not just repeating history, but forming new alliances and new programs. In addition, in Australia at least, and in some other countries like the UK, there's more of a focus on academics scoring more points in terms of engagement and impact. If they do research, what difference does that make to the outside world and how can they measure that? And so with this field, there's an opportunity for that. So what's on offer? So in looking on the internet and looking among published articles, it doesn't seem that there's a whole lot that's being done at universities. Australia has 24 million in population and 40 universities. Among those 40 universities, there are 8 universities that seem to list at least one subject on social impact assessment. And it's predominantly postgraduate. And there's only one program that seems to focus on social impact assessment solely, and that's at Macquarie University. Although there are some other programs that look at the impact of social services programs, which is an allied area, but not exactly the same. So what's in the way? 2 key areas: sustaining and delivering this sort of material. One, within a university, you need at least 20 postgraduates in a class for it to break even. With international students, you get charged a bit more, the numbers can go down a little bit. And that's why when you approach a university and say, I need 1 or 2 staff members, they're not going to jump and respond. They need a certain number of people in the classroom. And the question is, where do those people come from? If you were to advertise, where would you advertise? If this is a field that draws from many disciplines, what bulletin boards do you put it on? Where do you circulate the information? How ready are the people who are interested in studying in this area? And how do you attract people from marginalized groups who may not have the resources or the time, or may not be located in a place where they can have access to this education? So related to that is another institutional barrier, which is delivery. So if a department offers coursework in this area, multiple departments, how viable is that department? This discipline of geography has been formed and disbanded and reorganized in universities for the past 50 years. It's not necessarily a stable place in which to offer a program. Instructors also come and go, and you need multiple instructors, not just an individual. And subjects come and go depending on the finances of a department and the biases of whoever happens to be running that department. Then you have issues about where are the students and where are the classrooms, or where are the instructors, where are the learned people to do the teaching. What mode of delivery would be most appropriate, in person or through distance learning or some combination? And what about the timing? And not just the time of day, but the time of year. Is it compressed, or is it coursework that's stretched out? So when you go to a university saying we need people with a certain capability, there are a lot of simply logistical hurdles to be overcome before that can occur. And so we get to the end, which is, what are the options? And it sounds like one of the key challenges is making connections between the learned and the learners, and the notions, what role can the university play in that, and where do they need help in making those connections? And the key element there in terms of making something financially viable and sustainable is reaching critical mass. How do you get enough people involved so those who handle the purse strings say, this is a worthwhile undertaking, we're going to continue this, we're going to invest in it, and we're going to do this long term. So that's it. Thank you. So now again, you can, as we set up, you can take a minute and chat with your neighbor.